He shot to fame in his very first attempt to the Lok Sabha. Meet Kuvar Ratanjit Pratap Narayan Singh. With a political career that spanned almost 2 decades, RPN Singh has worked his way up in the Congress. From being the president of the State Youth Congress to 3 consecutive terms as an MLA from Padrauna in UP, this Doon School and St. Stephen's College graduate took the plunge into national politics in election 09. One of the torchbearers of the Congress's revival story of UP in elections 09, this blue-blooded people's leader was rewarded with a berth in Manmohan Singh's cabinet as the Minister of State for Road Transport and Highways under Kamal Nath. Though recognized among the South Sutras of the government, the development of roads and highways has been on the slow lane. Execution delays and lukewarm response to the government's public-private partnership initiatives in the last term of the UPA has meant few takers for the National Highway Development Plan. But as the UPA starts its second innings with a new team headed by Kamal Nath, there is hope and optimism that the roadblocks to roadways will be removed.
Frankly, I think the ministry does not face great challenges. They have a program ready. They have low-hanging fruits. It's just that they have to straighten out things and re-energize NHI, and great things can happen. So I have a great deal of expectations from the ministry, the minister and the Minister of State.
The Civil Aviation Ministry has got a regulatory authority, Telecom has regulatory authority, Electricity has regulatory authority. So we are asking the new ministry this very loaded question: what about, even before the market pressurizes you, since we have a visionary minister and a visionary team with young Turks in government, we are asking them, do you want the market to push you into an independent regulatory, or can you come up with it yourself?
Any PPP project has 2 sides. A, build up infrastructure. B, also meet the expectations of an entrepreneur or an investor. So as long as these 2 are met, I think things will move on. I believe somewhere there has been a mismatch, and therefore you've not seen the kind of participation that the initial days of NHI saw.
The bulk of our national highways, which have very low traffic levels, are not really amenable to tolling on a BOOT or a public-private partnership format. I wish the government would take the initiative of bidding these projects out on a performance-based maintenance contract. In other words, you don't come as a contractor, construct and go away. You give out the contract to reconstruct, rehabilitate and maintain it for 5 to 6 years, which is the norm internationally, but unfortunately so far there's been a lot of resistance in our country to this kind of a bidding format.
As RPN Singh prepares for his term, young Turks caught up with him to discuss the 100-day agenda of his ministry and the road ahead. Thanks very much for joining us on the show. Now, you're one of the young ministers who's been inducted into the Council of Ministers. Were you expecting to be part of the government in that sense?
No, actually I was not. I was totally taken by surprise when I was called by the Prime Minister to join his Council of Ministers. In fact, I didn't even have clothes. I didn't know what I was going to wear for the swearing-in ceremony. So in that I thought I was going to be work in the organization, because I've been working in the organization for a long time. Not just the government, but you've also made the transition from an MLA to an MP in that sense. So it's a very different ball game, isn't it? Yeah, well, it has been. My father was also a member of Parliament, so I always went to the Parliament to see him when he was in Parliament, when I was very young, in fact. And I've been trying very hard to get to Parliament, and it's taken me a couple of years to get here. Well, and I hope I can make a change in the real sense. Okay, you find yourself in one of the most high-profile ministries now. You've got with you, over you, one of the most high-profile ministers in the Manmohan Singh government, Kamal Nath. How have you sort of taken on the job as the Minister of State in that sense? Have you been given a definite sort of work responsibility, work allocation? How does it actually play out for a Minister of State? The kind of feel I've had with Mr. Kamal Nath, I actually feel that what great experience he's had in running a government, and what I've learnt in the last 10 days, if I had been on my own, I would have learnt in a year, I think. So he's made me very active and energetic minister. Yes, we've had all kinds of meetings with department heads, with other ministries, with other people, with the construction guys, and he's told me what parts to look into also.
Okay, you know, from the outside, it just seems like, why can't it be done? Why can't you sort of go out there and act? Why can't you go out there and build the infrastructure, build the roads, etc.? Now that you have spent about a week or so in the ministry, what is your biggest observation in terms of why business doesn't get done?
As far as the highways are concerned, Shireen, the biggest problem that we've identified 2 or 3 things which are the major obstacles in making highways. One is the land acquisition. You know, the large tracts of land have to be taken over before for 4 laning or 6 laning.
Sure.
So land acquisition is a major problem which is holding up. Then there are a lot of highways which are stuck because of environmental delays. Like there are trees, maybe the type. In fact, we've had a instance where we built not let's say a flyover, but a sort of flyover for the elephants to cross over the highway.
Okay.
So we have all these kind of issues. It seems very easy that why can't we just build roads? And finally the situation comes to you need huge money to make roads, which I think we are working on, and we have some money. But these are the 2 major problems which highways face, and certain intra-state politics or intra-state problems which occur, because for example when a highway is being made, there are electrical poles which have to be removed, there are certain utilities which have to be removed, which only the state government can do.